Hey everyone, Chris here from Real Rideshare Stories. If you're new to the channel and you're looking for different things within the rideshare industry, whether it's updates to what's going on, news, tips and tricks for passengers and drivers, or what happens on real rideshare rides, start now by hitting that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Also make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips. So this is an update video regarding unemployment, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, as well as what the clarification through the Labor Department actually means. So first we're going to talk about the challenge, the hurdle that drivers were looking at facing, which has now been clarified, and we're going to talk about that first. And then we're going to talk about states now implementing these changes and asking some people to start applying, as well as some other good news. So stay tuned after I talk about the Eugene Scalia and Labor Department debacle, and then we'll talk about that right after. And for the good news, because the last video I posted was a hurdle or a challenge that we may be facing as gig workers if you are trying to claim unemployment, looks like it has been cleared. And that is fantastic news for anybody who is looking for getting unemployment. It looks like this hurdle is going to kind of be alleviated. So if you want to check out this article, link is in the description below. It is the Huff Post, so if you want to go and check that out, you can. And it's titled, Uber Lyft Drivers Eligible for Unemployment If They Lost Business, Labor Department Says. So this is updated at April 15th, so this is actually 2 days ago. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make an update video yesterday. Too much stuff going on, but I wanted to get this information out to you as quick as possible. So if you were worried about that when I was talking about Eugene Scalia being kind of the blocker of that, it looks like everything is going to be resolved in that aspect. So we'll just go over it real quick. If you want to read this article again, like I said, link is in the description. So it says drivers who work for Uber or Lyft are eligible for unemployment assistance if they stop driving because fewer people were requesting rides, Labor Department officials said Wednesday. So again, that is good news because out of the Labor Department, it was talking about some challenges and issues that may be facing gig workers when it comes to trying to file for the PUA. But it looks like it has been resolved and kind of figured out, and it's because there's fewer people who are actually requesting rides. And that is true no matter where you go. Just about every single market has seen a downturn. Now, there are some people out there who are still driving and they are making some pretty decent money, but that's because the supply of drivers has also gone down because because the demand of rides has really gone down. Plus, there's also a lot of people who don't want to risk getting infected or anything like that. But because there's so many people who are not requesting rides, it doesn't even make it worth it to go out in any way, shape, or form. So a lot of people haven't because of that. And right there, like I said, first thing, drivers who work for Uber or Lyft are eligible for unemployment assistance if they stop driving because fewer people were requesting rides. That means drivers for ride-hailing service who file for benefits shouldn't need to show that they were unable to work due to a doctor's order or a coronavirus diagnosis, which had seemed like possible requirements under Labor Department's guidance to states implementing a whole new unemployment policy. So that's what it looked like was going to happen before, but now it is shifted a little bit, so that is good. I know there is pressure from legislators putting onto the Labor Department, so that is good news. So the CARES Act expanded unemployment insurance to cover workers who are not traditional employees for the first time. Lawmakers intended the law to cover Uber and Lyft drivers, but some labor law experts said the department's guidance seemed too narrow. So Democrats said this week in a letter to Eugene Scalia that the department should clarify its guidance, particularly so that ride service drivers will qualify when they are forced to suspend their work because there are too few customers seeking rides. So right there, again, like I said, legislators put on pressure onto the Labor Department to clarify things, and that is some good news. So that article goes on to have a little bit more information regarding some of the criteria, some more things with the Labor Department. So if you want to read that article more, check the link in the description below. So now going on to some more good news after knowing that that clarification has been cleared up, at least for the most part, which is a good thing and good news. But The great news is that states are now starting to update their systems, they're rolling it out, and people are able to start applying. So again, make sure you check careeronestop.org in order to see if your state is allowing you to file for unemployment yet, or if it's still trying to update its system or not. So make sure you check that information out. But yeah, several states are starting to allow people to begin the application process. And even better, the states that were allowing it before are now starting to pay out the pandemic unemployment assistance. So that means that $600 that's been going out is starting to get paid to people, which is fantastic news, because that was a huge part of it. And that is the payment where people can now pay their bills, people can get back up on their feet, get the food they need. So it's going to be great overall. So that is good news, and I'm very happy to be able to say that right now. But again, make sure you follow your state's guidelines if you can apply yet or not, and always check back at that state's website in order to apply. Now, if you have applied for unemployment and has your application gone through, comment below what state it is and have you seen some money yet, because it is starting to go through. Comment below and let me know. That's the end of this video. If there are any new updates regarding anything more with unemployment and the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, I will continue to make updates. But it looks like I said, most states are starting to get the ball rolling. They're actually starting to take applications and even starting to pay out, which is the best news that possibly could happen. And then also that whole thing with the Labor Department where it could have been an issue, looks like it's problem solved already. So that will be great news. But make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified anytime a new update is made or anytime a video comes out in general. Also, make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips. And as always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, your delivery drivers, and your shoppers. And we'll see you next time.